All right, guys, welcome to our new video podcast, Trash Takes. I'm Cody Boyd. This is Ethan Palmer. And across Zoom, we have Jarrett Boyd. Basically, this podcast came about because in our locker room, we used to have banter back and forth all the time. We would always say that our takes are super trash. I know Ethan's takes are for sure trash. We'll get into that later. Jarrett's are also trash. And plenty of our other guys in there are all trash takes too. It's just everyone has just so many trash takes. Some people have good takes, but that's what this podcast is going to be about. It's going to be about us giving our take on anything: movies, sports, life, music, any type of take. And we're going to be discussing if it is a trash take or a good take. We want you, as the viewer, to also decide if it is a trash take or a good take. So, without further ado, I'll start us off. I have the sports take for the week, and I'm going to get right into it. Basically, my take is that the Boston Celtics are the most overrated NBA franchise in NBA history. And as you can see, Jarrett Boyd is a huge Boston Celtics fan. Just look at his backdrop. So this is a direct shot at him, but I fully believe it. The Boston Celtics won so many championships in the 60s. Nobody cares about the 60s. What did they win? 3 national championships in the 80s and 1 national championship since then in 2008. So let's go from 80s plus. Yeah, you can see it on Jarrett's screen. He has a banner. They're all from the 60s. So I would argue that the Miami Heat have a better franchise than the Boston Celtics. They've been to the finals way more recently, and they came to be about in 1988. The Boston Celtics won like 10 championships or 11 championships with Bill Russell. It's 11, right? Yeah,
It was
11,
11.
11 rings with Bill Russell. And so you take the 60s away, what do they have? They have 4 championships in 50 years. 50. The Miami Heat have 3 in 30.
Let me just correct you real quick, and you can continue with your take. If you eliminate the '60s, they actually 60s and before, they actually have 6 championships. All right, continue.
All right, well, we'll also eliminate the 70s because it's the early 70s. I know that. And yeah, it is. Shake your head, yes. Yeah. So
It,
it's the early
mid
70s. And I know saying the Heat as a better franchise than the Celtics is a bold take, but I would argue that that could be the case. And that's just a lower tier. The Spurs are definitely a better franchise. The Lakers are definitely a better franchise. Those are 2 easy ones that I can think of right off the top of my head that are better franchises than the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are just overrated because they ran the 60s when no one was that. I mean, no one was like super, super talented. There was like a couple guys in the league. I mean, the league has changed dramatically. Then I think everyone can agree that they were still good players. I'm not disrespecting them. It's just the league's completely different now than it was back then. So that is my take, and let's go back and forth. Jarrett, what do you first off, Jarrett, what do you got to think about on
All
this
right,
subject?
this is an outrageous take. Honestly, I was going to use the argument of when you first brought up the take about the Boston Celtics about the Miami Heat being a worse franchise, but because you are a Miami Heat fan, but you use it as an example of how they are better, which makes no sense. A franchise is the duration of history, all right? It's not in this decade. I would completely agree with you if you said the Miami Heat were a better team than the Boston Celtics in the past 20 years. I mean, they were. It's it breaks my heart to say that, but they were. Um, but as a better franchise, no shot. LeBron came and gave them rings, and ever since I mean, you had the one D Wade ring, and then LeBron came in, gave them more, and then that was it. Like,
I think you're missing the
you know,
point, though. I think I'm saying that the Celtics are overrated because, unlike the Lakers, who have tons of recent championships, they have 11 spanning from the 60s to early 70s era. Did they have any in the 50s?
This-
I'm not sure.
Yes, they have. I can read them out. They have 1957, 1959, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. We lost 67. Big loss. 68, 69. So the whole 60s basically.
Yeah, so basically
74, 76, 81, 84, 86, and 2008.
so you only
Actually,
have
the year you have on your T-shirt, we won that year.
in 84. Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
you only have 4 championships 1980 plus. Only 4.
Yeah, we had 3 in the 80s because of Bird, and then we have 1 with the big 3, which we
Now
should
The
we should have
Spurs
to.
have
But
5 championships since 1999. They're a better franchise than you. The Miami Heat, I'm just arguing because they are the bottom. They have 3 championships. You think you're raising your hand? You can chime in at any time.
Jarrett, I would just like to ask why you are a Boston Celtics fan. They have been good for a total of 2 years since you were born. So I was just wondering why you are a Boston Celtics fan.
Yeah, plus you're not from
Well-
Boston.
okay, yeah, I am from Georgia, and it's weird for me to be a Boston fan, but uh I was born in 2002, and obviously 2008 was our last championship, and I was a huge Ray Allen fan growing up. So when he went to the Celtics, I liked the colors, to be honest. I liked Rondo. I loved the big 3 with Rondo. I honestly think it was a big 4. Um I really think we should have won more championships with that group. I was actually very upset that we didn't win in 2010.
Yeah,
I remember being 8 years old and watching Game 7 and Meta War Peace hitting a crap 3 to beat us and ice the game. I mean, I've never felt more sick in my stomach as a little kid, and ever since I've stayed committed because I'm not a bandwagon.
I think you're proving my
Once I
point.
come-
Ever since Larry Bird, the Celtics have been a one-hit wonder team.
They have. They have been overrated ever since, and that is why I asked the
Would
question.
you not agree that the Celtics are a one-hit wonder
Overrated?
team?
They have.
Overrated?
They won 1 championship
think-
since the 80s. Ethan,
How
Ethan,
are they
what do you
over?
think about this take? Do you think that
I honestly agree with this take because unlike them, the great
No.
franchises, I mean, obviously there's the Knicks that are supposedly, but they suck anyways. Everyone knows that the Knicks suck. But then there's the Lakers, and that's considered a great franchise because they have been good from the 50s through 2020. And so, well, 2021 now because they are still the top
well,
team.
kind of the Celtics dominated the 60s.
I mean,
They were
okay,
still
we can
good,
take
though,
out
yeah.
10 years. We don't even need to add that since the take is
It just seems
That-
like every couple years the Lakers are back to the finals and winning.
That's
the
what I'm saying.
championship.
I take back since 1950, but 1980 is probably when it matters the most. And Larry Bird got a few, but Magic got a few as well. And so, I mean, it's just like the Lakers have always been there, whereas
I
the
think-
Celtics had
I
the
think
80s,
that was-
and then they had one hit, and now they're just supposedly big again because Jason Tatum, even though
Yeah.
they haven't done anything.
Like people
with him.
always talk about Lakers and Celtics being the top franchises, but the Celtics have 11 in the 60s. Like the Lakers
It's
really,
true.
the Lakers won the 80s. They won 5 out of.
They
They
won
won
the
5 of
80s.
them. Celtics only won 3. The 90s was dominated by Jordan, so that's another franchise that's better than the Celtics, the Bulls, and that's just because of Jordan. But that's another argument. They're probably an overrated franchise too. Jordan just carries them.
Bulls is not a better franchise than the Celtics.
That's
They
what I'm
had
saying. That's a
better
different argument. That's a different argument. It might be true because they're overrated too. But the Lakers then started dominating in the 2000s again with Kobe, and now LeBron's there. It just seems like the Lakers can never not be good. I mean, they had
Okay,
their
but
stretch where they
I wanna
weren't
ask
good,
y'all-
but now they're back on top again. The Celtics haven't seemed to
I
figure it out yet. I mean, y'all are close, but it's just like y'all had a one-hit wonder in 2008.
No, I disagree. I think it should have been. We should have had the championship in 2010. Kobe beat us in Game 7. I'll give him that. All right, he carried that team with Pau Gasol. They were great, but we should have won. Truth of the matter is, though, ever since we had the big 3, we made that whole exchange with Brooklyn, which was brilliant. and we didn't have to rebuild. So I disagree as far as them being an overrated franchise, because when do you remember the Celtics not making the playoffs or at least going to the second round? I think I can remember one time we got eliminated in the first round, like
But let's
early
go before you
2010.
the whole entire 90s, the early 2000s before you got the Big Four. And yeah, pretty much all that. I don't think the
Okay, but
Celtics were even relevant.
as an overall franchise, those 17 rings cannot be ignored. The Lakers just tied it. You said how much they've been winning. They just tied it this past year. Now
See,
that
and
they
that's
both
my
have
point exactly. They tied it, and let's just take
Because
the 60s away. Let's just take the 60s
in the
away.
60s.
Like, let's
But you
just take
can't
the
take the
60s
60s
away.
away.
I know. That's my
Talking about
argument, though, is that the
franchise.
60s and 70s and before that don't really matter in the NBA. I think the NBA really
Okay,
turned its
they
peak
do.
when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came into the picture. That's when the NBA got huge. You could
Okay,
argue
but
that
you
Dr.
can't
J was in that
as a
discussion too
franchise.
in the late 70s, early 80s.
Look, if you have to change your argument though, because as a whole franchise, we have 17 rings. That cannot be ignored, no matter what year it was, no matter
No.
how the league
That's
was.
why y'all
Can't
are
be ignored when there's 12
yes,
teams in the league.
that's why y'all are always talked about as a great franchise. And that's my point, is that y'all are overrated because you always bring up 17 championships, but 11 of them don't even matter. Nobody cares about. Like when people talk about the GOAT, they go, oh, Jordan has 6 rings. Oh, Bill Russell has 11, but everyone knows it's a joke. Everyone knows Bill Russell's not the GOAT.
He has a ring on his toe. He has 10 rings on his fingers and a ring on his toe. I want you to think about that. All right. No, I don't think he's the greatest
All
of all
right.
time.
All right.
But I think you have to put some respect on his name.
My argument here is that you can't fix stupid, and Jared's argument's pretty stupid, so we might need to move on from this.
I think, yeah, we're gonna move
My
on from
argument-
this. We'll end it here. I'm gonna say, obviously, it's my take, so I'm gonna say it's a good take. Ethan, do you think that's a good take or a trash take?
I agree that it's also a good take, and so that gives 2 for good take. So that's a great start to trash takes.
Yeah, Jared, what do you think? Good take or trash take?
I think it's a terrible take. Are you kidding me? The worst take I've ever heard in my life.
Well, I guarantee you're probably gonna hear worse on this show, in your opinion. But anyways, that's it for the first segment, the sports segment. Now we're gonna go into Ethan Palmer's take. Ethan, you had the entertainment take tonight, or
I do. I have the entertainment take of the night, and so my take is everyone in the 1980s watched when Karate Kid came out, and everyone since then they showed their kids this, and so everyone was in love with Daniel LaRusso and Miyagi-Do karate. But now, since this new show Cobra Kai came out, I don't know how long ago, 2-3 years ago, people are starting to change, and they now think that Cobra Kai is the greatest. But so my take is that Cobra Kai is still not the greatest, and Miyagi-Do karate actually is still above them. And so that is my take, and I think it's great, even though I'm sure these two think that it's pretty trash. My reason being is that, yes, I did some research, and Cobra Kai had 3 championships right before Daniel LaRusso got there. But as soon as Daniel LaRusso got there, he won 2 back-to-back, and that is a part of Miyagi-Do karate. And Johnny Lawrence had nothing that he could do about it. They tried to cheat their way in, and he still could not be stopped. And so that is just my first argument, but I would like to hear what you all have to say.
well, first off, I completely disagree with this take. Cobra Kai is 1,000 times better than Miyagi-Do karate. Here's why. Not only do they have 3 championships before Miyagi-Do even got there, and I get it. Daniel defeated them. He was a one-hit wonder. He was a protege.
2.
Okay,
hit him twice.
Okay, he was a 2-time.
Then he graduated, so there was just not much he could do.
I get that. Okay, he's a 2-time. So he got 2 championships. Cobra Kai still had 3. No big deal. We're not even going to talk about championships because I don't think championships even matters in this. Let's just go to the straight fact of how much cooler the Cobra Kai kids are than the Miyagi-Do kids. Let's just go to the Cobra Kai TV show. Miyagi-Do, Robbie Keane,
Okay.
his daughter, I forgot her name.
Okay.
And
Rich.
then, what's her name?
Samantha LaRusso.
Samantha LaRusso. And then the others nobodies. What's the other kid's name? The little nerdy kid in the show?
I disagree.
Eli
Dimitri is
Sorkin.
actually
Dimitri.
Dimitri is
and
actually
then let's go to
tough.
Cobra Kai. We got Hawk. We got Miguel, the best character in the show. We got Johnny, the other best character in the show. And we got just a full lineup of cool kids. And we got Stingray. Don't forget Stingray if you've seen the show. Cobra Kai, that's why I wore this shirt. I knew you were coming on with this take, so I wore my Cobra Kai shirt to defend them. Cobra Kai is the best karate dojo in the history of TV. Miyagi-Do comes in with this little wax on or wax off crap. No mercy. Strike first, hit hard. That's what I think. I think
That's a very
cool
compelling
factor.
argument.
Jarrett, let me hear your take, Jarrett. But that is my take.
Yeah,
that
I'm on the
Ethan's
fence.
take
I'm
is
on the
trash.
fence.
You're what?
I'm on the fence with this one. I'm on the fence with this one. By the way, I do want to compliment your shirt again. 1984, great year for the Celtics. Anyways, I do want to compliment both of you guys because I do think with the show, I think with the show Cobra Kai, is the better franchise. However, is the argument overall because like in the movies we all grew up with, Miyagi-Do, like obviously Daniel LaRusso. I mean, I don't really like Daniel LaRusso, but I love Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi might be one of the best characters of all time because he just taught him his wisdom and all that kind of stuff. I know you say the wax on, wax off, but your boy Johnny couldn't beat that, Cody. So that you don't have that going for you. However, with the TV show, I do think that the cooler people are Cobra Kai, and I do think Cobra Kai beats them. So I'm on the edge here. I need more convincing. I really don't know what my answer is right now.
I would just like to say, to
So-
defend my take, is that for one, Cobra Kai, yes, in the show, they make Cobra Kai look that much better. But in reality, that is just the show showing it. Because if you're thinking about it, in the movies originally, Daniel Russo beats him. He gets the girl. He has the nicer car. In the show, he's the rich guy. He has the car dealership. He has the rich daughter. And he's still beating up Johnny in everything that he does. So
That's a
they
great point.
may make Johnny look cooler, but he's still the drunk guy that's not doing anything. And that's who you want leading. And not to give a spoiler from season 3, Cobra Kai got taken over again. So I did just give a spoiler, but Cobra Kai is no longer Johnny's. So you are now arguing for Eagle Fang Karate
No. I'm not arguing for
because
karate.
Cobra Kai has now fallen off
No.
because it sucks.
No, I'm talking about Cobra Kai.
As far as the show goes.
No, I'm talking about Crease's Cobra Kai, Johnny's Cobra Kai. Doesn't matter. It's better.
Crease's Cobra Kai is losing everyone because he's a psychopath. They don't win. He does not know how to win.
He is a psychopath, but have you ever heard the classic Johnny? Yeah! I don't do the best
so-
impression.
Have you ever seen the classic Daniel with the one leg up?
Yeah, but that's so lame. He
Like
tried
that
it.
was filthy.
He tried it in
I didn't
Karate
want to
Kid
put that in
2.
camera.
He tried it in Karate Kid 2 and just got wrecked. It didn't work. It didn't work at all.
That's because he went to actual.
What's the wording?
It is so much different than American karate. He goes to Japan in season 3 of Cobra Kai, and he still gets
So
work.
what's the wording?
What did you say?
Like, what's the wording? Like, what was your take? Like Cobra Kai is just worse than Miyagi-Do? Just overall in general.
I think this is not just turned into a we're saying trash. We know where I stand. We know where you stand.
We are trying
I
to
think
change
at
Jarrett's
this point,
idea.
this has turned into we are trying to get Jarrett to decide if this is a trash or good take. Jarrett, I'm on the side of you have to say this is trash take to get a 2 out of 3 vote. He's trying to make you say it's a good take. I'm going to give you my final reason why this is such a trash take. 1984. Do you want to be the cool guy riding your dirt bike? Yet, leather jacket, red leather jacket, Cobra Kai logo on there, riding down, and your girl gets taken by this little dweeb. Because he thinks he's hot stuff. He's getting taught by this old guy that comes out of nowhere. teaching him wax on, wax off, this weird mumbo jumbo stuff? Or do you want no mercy, strike first, hit him hard, win the day?
That's a horrible argument.
And then skip 40 years later, new show comes out. Daniel LaRusso, who is now the face of Miyagi-Do karate because Miyagi-Do is dead, is a jealous loser who's always up Johnny's business for no reason. No reason whatsoever. Johnny's just trying to open a karate dojo, do his thing. And Daniel LaRusso is just being a jealous little boy. His wife knows it in the show. Everyone can see it. He's annoying. You know what the thing is? Johnny may have had his down years, but when he reopened Cobra Kai and Miguel came in and became a new champion, everything changed. Cobra Kai became cool again. The show is called Cobra Kai for a reason and not Miyagi-Do. The merch sold is Cobra Kai because Cobra Kai is an iconic name, a cool name, the coolest. And that is my argument.
And you know, Cody, I have to give it to you because Ethan, I was gonna go with you for a second because morally, I was like, he's right. Miyagi-Do morally is the right place to go.
Wait. Let me cut you off right there. So you're saying that morally, the reason it's called Cobra Kai is because Johnny hasn't gotten out of the past in 40 years that he's drank his life away because he still is thinking about this girl, Allie, 40 years earlier, who is now married, divorced. So I guess he has a point there. But he didn't know that she was divorced. He didn't even know how to use Facebook. And you're saying that morally you're going to go with them.
Okay, but can I say something?
Go ahead.
Morally, no, I would go with you guys. But then I realized that this is a TV show. This is a movie. I don't have to be morally correct. I don't have to go with the good guys. And
you don't have to, but it's the history with Daniel.
No,
Mr. Miyagi. It's for Miyagi's legacy.
I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm going to have to go with this is a trash take because Cobra Kai is just cooler in every way. I mean, Cody's right. The merch sells more. The show is called Cobra Kai. I just thought in my mind, I'm like, what would I do if the show was called Miyagi-Do? I mean, would I even watch it? No, I wouldn't watch it. I don't think I
would watch a show called Miyagi-Do. What a loser.
Nobody.
No, we want strike first, hit hard. Do you think Miyagi-Do show would have cool fight scenes like the end of season 2, like the season 2 finale? That was crazy. That was all Cobra Kai.
No, it's not because Miyagi-Do's the one that threw him over the thing and broke his back.
You are the king of spoilers. I just want you to know that.
Dude, we're 3 seasons in. We might as well get into it. This is going to be for people who have seen this.
Okay. Sure. But hear me out on this. Cobra Kai was all in defense mode. Defense. We're strike first.
I said Cobra Kai.
Oh, I flip it. Okay. Miyagi-Do is all about defense.
Okay.
Cobra Kai is all about strike first, hit him hard. So what do we do at the school? We struck first. You know what Robbie did?
He struck hard and he defended himself.
And he
hurt
him.
He won.
Hurt him. He almost killed a man. Murder.
Can
Not
I
defense?
say
Murder.
Murder. What?
Guys, I think also what we have to realize is Robbie did not join Miyagi-Do because Robbie wanted to join Miyagi-Do. Robbie joined Miyagi-Do because he wanted to go against his dad in Cobra Kai. That is a very big reason. And who am I going to go with? Samantha LaRusso as my role model? No way I'm going to go with Samantha LaRusso as my role model.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry, Ethan. Trash take.
That's 2 out of 3. Your take is trash. Please let us know in the comments what you think on the take. Let us know if Ethan's take was trash or good. And
I apologize for the spoilers.
And Ethan does apologize for the spoilers. That was rude. If they haven't seen the show, you just killed it.
No.
Great show though. We fully support Cobra Kai.
We do.
See, you said it. You just supported Cobra Kai.
No, the show.
That was a trick. All right, Jarrett. Now we're gonna go into your take. Jarrett had a life take for this podcast. So I'm gonna mute myself real quick, and you go into your take.
All right. So now that y'all are muted, 1984, great year. I have to mention it again. As I was saying, I have the life take for today, but my life take is going to be a little sports related and in the sports world. But I do think everyday people always wear this and use these things. So my take today is between two companies, and the two companies are Adidas and Nike. And my take is Adidas is better than Nike, aka stripes are better than checks. All right. Now let me explain my reasoning. All right. I have three reasons why Adidas is better than Nike. Number one, variety. I went and did research and I went on Nike's page. All right. And when I scrolled on their shoes, all right, just normal shoes, lifestyle shoes, you can click on the lifestyle shoes. For miles and miles and miles, all I got was just different versions of the same old shoe, Air Force Ones. Now, are Air Force Ones bad shoes? No, they're great shoes. I think they're very stylish. But for miles and miles, that's all I got. Just Air Force Ones. What if I don't want Air Force Ones? Oh, I don't have another option. But then I go on Adidas and I go on their lifestyle. You have Ultra Boost, Alpha Bounce, NMDs. You even have the ones that look like Air Forces, but they have three stripes. Way cooler, way better, right? My second reason, other than variety, right, is comfort and durability. All right? Comfort and durability. I've always worn Adidas shoes. Ultra Boost are the most comfortable shoe I've ever put on my foot. 100%. As far as wearing Adidas goes, I've always felt comfortable. I've never had a problem. All right. And I have a great example of why Nike is bad. The first time I get a Nike shoe in a very, very long time was this year's basketball shoe for our Emmanuel College team. And it had a defect. It looked brown. It was a white shoe, white Kyrie highs, and it looked brown after I used it for 1 week. The soles are now torn in half. You can go ask my mother what she is doing with those shoes. She's trying to buy 14 soles for those shoes because they are broken. And you tell me that that is better than Adidas? No, no shot. And for my third reason, I have style and look. Uh, honestly, Adidas, they have that little three leaf. I don't know what it's called, the little three leaf thing. I think that's way more stylish apparel than a Nike check. I think those hoodies are way better, way cooler. Just in general, I think sweatshirts are better. I think sweatpants are better. I think socks are better. Shoes are better. All right. It's just, I looked at the websites, I looked at both of them, and just in every way, Adidas just is better than Nike. And I just completely think that. So that is my take.
I will respond to this because I know that Cody's on the side of Adidas for the most part as well. For the first part, the first basketball shoe that you got, I would say that the defect is your feet, not the shoe. And I'm gonna be honest, your feet stink, and I bet it wet off some brown stuff, and that's what happened. And so, first of all, I would say that. As far as the websites, I would say that Nike is being smart because what does every girl want right now?
What?
Every teenage girl, what do they want? They want Air Force Ones. So why would they not have that on there? Just because it's not on the website on the first page when you're scrolling down doesn't mean that they don't have free runs, they don't have Roshis, they don't have Air Maxes. I know those are old school, but I'm just saying all the shoes that were big at one time, they don't have Jordans. Like all these day shoes that everyone wears. And as far as and now my argument against it is, since you said for sports, if you were to name an athlete for a sport, I can name a better that goes with Adidas. I can name a better athlete and more athletes that went with Nike because Nike is better. So if you were to say basketball, you have James Harden, you have Dame Lillard, I have Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Those are just three right there. You were to say soccer, Lionel Messi. That's a big name. But you know who went with Nike? An even bigger name, Cristiano Ronaldo. And
Whoa,
you may say
that's
that's a toss up
very
in the air,
Ooh.
but Cristiano Ronaldo has the most followers on Instagram. You can go check of any athlete. You can go check my stats on that, and
No,
it's
I
definitely
know.
not Lionel
I know.
Messi. So, yeah, and
Messi's
so there's a
huge.
reason why those athletes go to them instead of to Adidas, because Adidas could pay them too, but they're choosing that because they want Nike.
I disagree with that. I think, and I'm really glad you brought this up because I saved it because I knew you would bring it up. I didn't use it in my first point, but I actually have a fact from theclever.com if you want to look it up. I cited it. Yes, you're right.
Should we even go with
Um,
is this like a reliable source?
Just hear him out.
this is a quote. This is a quote from theclever.com. It's from an article called 15 Dirty Secrets About Nike. When MJ was in college, and they say this in The Last Dance, he always wore Adidas in college and his rookie year of NBA. But the reason he did not, he went to Nike. He said he wouldn't wear any other shoe. He loved Adidas. He loved how they felt. But his parents and his agent, the money's with Nike. So this is where the whole thing with Nike, yes, there are better athletes there, but I think there's more money with Nike. Does that mean Nike's better than Adidas? No. I think overall, as comfort and variety and style and look, which are the three things I brought to the table, I think Adidas is better in all three of them. And MJ knew that. He loved the shoe. He loved Adidas. They even talk about in this article how he hated his first Air Jordans. He thought they were ugly, didn't like how comfortable they were. They were bad shoes. Yes, they got better, but that's because he had to really work on it. But the only reason he really went with Nike was because he could make way more money with Nike. But the truth is, he was way more comfortable with Adidas. And that's where the facts are.
I'm gonna be honest. Nike, there was not more money with Nike. Nike was a running and I think tennis shoe back then, and his mom knew that he could change it. So that's where you get that argument. There was not more money. He made it that way. But my argument isn't Jordan in the '80s. My argument is that Jordan shoe is there now and through the '90s, and now is one of the biggest. One of the big. It's catching up with the other brands on its own, and it's still a part of Nike. And so that's what my argument was. And as far as nicer shoes, you can say that the NMDs, the Ultra Boost, but really we all know that Adidas just comes out. Even their best basketball shoes was basically just an Ultra Boost. They have come out with an Ultra Boost and they have rode that Ultra Boost for a very long time now.
I'm gonna chime in now. I love that you've done your research, Jarrett, and I do agree with you that Adidas is better because I am a three-stripe guy myself. Being in the family with you, we grew up that way, three-stripe life. But I do not think Nike is trash. I will not go out and say that. But I do think that Adidas is better. Now, you say that the Ultra Boost has been ridden for years. I see no problem with that. If they go away from the Ultra Boost, that will be Adidas's downfall. The Ultra Boost to me is the best shoe, comfort-wise and like just running-wise and everything. It's the best shoe out there, in my opinion. Now, Nike has some super like stylish, like, like they have like all the cool, like a bunch of cool shoes, like off-whites and like, like hype shoes, like stuff like that. Adidas does too. They have Yeezys, but just going off the Ultra Boost, Nike has nothing that compares. Now, Adidas and Nike are pretty close in the clothing area. I'd say they're all similar. It's all really the same.
I would
So
say
we're
argue
going
that
off
with Under Armour too. Clothes are just kind of the
Yeah.
same as just going off their logo.
Yeah. So
They do the
it's
same
basically
things.
the same. We're
Yeah.
we're just we're going off. Really, it's shoes.
Yeah.
I'd say that's what it comes down to when you're ranking them. And I think that the Ultra Boost is just the top of the line running shoe right now. It's the top of the line. Like maybe it's not. I don't know what the term is, running shoe, but it's like just like comfort, like athletic shoe.
I will not disagree with that. I do love the Ultra Boost, but that is the only thing that they have. Because if you go to basketball shoes, they have the Ultra. It's not an. I mean, it's the Ultra Boost style. It's what it is. And whenever they try to get away from that, it hasn't worked. The James Harden never became big. I mean, you got some kids who like it. The Dame Lillard's been off and on. Like that when, especially for basketball, since we are basketball players, like you have such a variety from Nike that you can go anywhere with. Whereas you are kind of stuck with that Ultra Boost style. So if they came out with a heavy Ultra Boost that year, you're stuck with the heavy Ultra Boost because they don't have anything else.
No, there's a bunch of different styles. Like there's the James Hardens, there's the Dame Lillards, there's the Derrick Roses,
which are all just kind of okay. Nobody's saying I want the new Derrick Rose. I want the new
like
Dame Lillard.
The Dame Lillards a lot. I have them. See, Nike does the same thing though. They just bring out Kyrie's, LeBron's, Durant's. They just have bigger names because they have the money there, which could be for a variety of different things. It doesn't mean that they're a better brand. It just means that they might be better marketers. They might be doing something money-wise, business-wise better, but quality-wise, which is what I'm going off of, I'm full Adidas. And that might just be my foot, honestly, with the shoes. And with the clothes, it's just I got to match, man. Like you got to pick a brand to match.
Okay.
You can't mismatch.
This is true that you should match. And I would like to next argue. Say you are a football team. Who are you going with for that? So think of a college football team anywhere. What Adidas team looks better than all the Nike teams out there?
Oh, I think all of them. I think I do. Now I do in college football. I think Jordan jerseys, like Michigan and Florida and North Carolina. Those are the schools with Jordan, right? No, it's not a part of Nike. It is because it was old, but it's really its own thing.
It's still a part of their website.
No, see the Nike like UGA and like Alabama, they use Nike and stuff.
Yeah.
Louisville uses Adidas. Those are cool jerseys.
Okay, my argument for Louisville is Oregon, and Oregon looks better than Louisville.
Oregon is a freak of nature in its own thing because the Nike guy went there, so he spoils them.
This is true, but they also just know what they're doing because they are a part of Nike.
Adidas, I think Adidas also dominates the soccer realm.
I wouldn't say that Adidas doesn't. Adidas does, but as of lately, the bigger teams have started to sign with Nike. You have Liverpool. You have, especially the English team. You have Man City. I believe Man City is. But you have like all these teams, Man United. They're all signing with Nike nowadays because Nike comes out with the better gear.
And I'm not educated enough in soccer to know who's with Adidas. So I really don't know. I just know that Adidas is huge in soccer.
It's always has been. But I'm saying that Nike's actually starting to take that over as well.
I wouldn't say they're taking it over.
You guys,
they're getting in the space.
Do you want to see Nike's first shoe ever made?
Say that again. You laugh.
They're also from theclever.com. Nike's first ever football/soccer shoe. They tested it in New Mexico, right? Well, they thought, oh, it'll be good. It should be good. Well, they sent it up north to Green Bay, I guess, NFL, when they were playing a game. You want to see what happened to this shoe? It's the same thing that happened to my shoe when I got it. The sole tore in half. Look at that shoe. That's an ugly shoe.
I would just like to say that even with the Celtics takes, this dude is stuck in the past.
I would agree.
He's stuck in the past.
His points are all in the past. Bad. His points are bad.
That's what I'm saying.
How are my points bad?
And I understand that we're not going to change your
personal
mind and that this is going to be called a good take. And Adidas is good. But in my mind, your arguments and your take was not good because you had defenses, but they were all in the older times.
So, Jarrett, let me just get this straight before I decide if this is a trash or a good take. Jarrett, hold up. Let me get this straight if this is a good or a trash take. Is your question when you say Adidas is better than Nike, or not your question, but your statement, when you say Adidas is better than Nike, are you talking overall or are you just talking quality?
I mean, I'm talking overall quality. I mean overall is just in general. But okay. I'm with your saying I'm living in the past, I disagree. I haven't been able to expand because y'all been talking a lot. So I'm going to expand on these shoes I got 2 weeks ago, all right, or a month ago or whatever, all right? These were my first Nike shoes. I've had Adidas, Dame Lillard's, Harden's, all those shoes that people apparently hate. I don't like freak out about shoes, but I just like the most comfortable shoe. And I got these Nike Kyrie highs, all right, and the little K on the back. Oh, it looks great, Kyrie. Oh, his little emblem on the back. Yeah, you know what that emblem did to my foot? Gave me blisters every day after practice. I did not want blisters on my foot, all right. Every time on my heel, blisters. The sole breaks in half. My shoe is a defect. You said it's my feet. It's not my feet. I have Adidas shoes that have never done that ever in their life.
I think the funny thing about this is I'm on Jarrett's side. I do think Adidas is better.
But I'm winning.
But for his points, I'm not saying no. For his points, I disagree. Like,
how are my arguments
just had one bad experience. He could have that same bad experience with Adidas. It doesn't.
I disagree.
It doesn't mean.
I disagree.
Jarrett's also
had
because he played basketball in the Adidas gauntlet. Jarrett, you can't stop. You cannot just continue to cut me off. You just can't.
You're cutting me off.
No, I was talking. You can't just cut me off in the middle of my point.
Adidas,
no, listen.
You're on Zoom.
I've had many opportunities.
Yeah, you're.
I've had many opportunities.
You're across the country right now. No, I'm just kidding. You're in a different room. Anyways, Jarrett did play on the Adidas gauntlet, which provides some bias. And I think for me on this, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna make a take on this because Jarrett's points were so bad that I'm just gonna drop it. Because I do think Nike makes quality stuff too. I just prefer Adidas myself. So I would say that by far Adidas and Nike are the best over Under Armour, which is a different argument. And I think that they're the best too, by far. I'm not going to say that this is trash or good because I agree with it, but I also don't like how you trashed Nike because I don't think that they're trash. Ethan, what do you think about this take? Do you think it's trash or good?
I would say this take is absolute trash. And if we had a guest that was not as biased as the two Boyd brothers, we would probably be hearing the same argument that I'm giving, that Nike is better.
It's not that I'm not biased though. I didn't play on the Adidas gauntlet.
But you have also worn Adidas shoes because your parents loved it.
No. They did not. I made them love it, and I made Jarrett love it. I was the first one to start wearing Adidas, and I loved Adidas. Is that can you say that, Jarrett? Is that not true?
I mean, I'm not a big person as to what I want in shoes and clothing. And you know me, I would just be like, Mom, yeah, that looks good. Sure, get it for me. I don't really care.
Get it
but so when you got Adidas, I mean, yeah, I probably did get Adidas. But am I biased as far as Adidas being better than Nike? Yes, I am. And I see why Cody's conflicted. Because do I think Nike is good in anything? No, I do not.
Okay, that is a trash take. That's your trash take.
We're moving on.
It's not your take is not that Adidas is better than Nike. Your take is that Nike is trash, and that's a trash take.
Yes, because I've had terrible experiences with Nike. I hate Nike.
All right, that's a trash take for sure. Let us know in the comments what you think about Jarrett's take. His take evolved from Adidas being better than Nike to Nike just being straight garbage. But let us know what you think about that take in the comments. We're going to move on for our last segment. We've been going at this for a while now, and we're going to make this segment pretty quick, but we want to play a segment we saw trending around Instagram. I've saw people do this, and it's called Legend or Not Legend. So basically, I'm just going to name a few icons, few names, and we're going to decide if they're a legend or not a legend. And I'm just going to go around the horn. I'll start with Jarrett. Jarrett, this one's for you. Legend or not legend? Carmelo Anthony.
Absolutely not a legend.
This one's tough.
I did not think that I was coming on the trash takes and that someone else would have trasher takes than I would, but Jared has proved me wrong tonight.
See,
I would honestly say Carmelo Anthony is a legend for falling out and coming back and still having great stats and great games.
I personally, I'm not going to say it as bold as Jared did, but I don't think he's a legend. I think legend status is like a different peak. Like you gotta reach a different level to reach
Okay,
legend
then I
status.
can argue that he will be Hall of Fame and not a legend, but he will be Hall of Fame.
Yes, I think he's Hall of Fame.
Okay,
but I don't think he's a
agree.
legend.
I agree.
Okay, next, Ethan, you get this. Allen Iverson.
I don't even.
Allen Iverson, I would say legend because everyone knew who Allen Iverson was.
Yeah.
And everyone still knows Allen Iverson's game, and everyone has seen Allen Iverson cross up Jordan 50,000 times from the free throw line. You don't even have to be a basketball player, and you know who Allen Iverson is.
And you've seen him step over.
And you've seen him step. I mean, yeah, obviously there's that step over Tyronn Lue, and or double cross somebody. Like you've just seen Allen Iverson, and so I would say yes, legend.
So, Jared, what do you think? Do you think he's a legend or not?
Yes, I think Allen Iverson is a legend, and I don't even think Carmelo should make it in the Hall of Fame. All right, that's all.
He's just a mellow hater. Yeah, I think Allen Iverson's a legend. I don't think that's a doubt. I think he's like, I mean, he's going to be remembered forever just because of his style of play and just his things he's done. Like people know him. I think he's a legend.
That's true.
All right, next one is a tough one. He just retired from the NFL, so I put him on the list. His name is Phillip Rivers. And Jarrett, you start us off this time. We'll just go back to you. Legend or not legend?
That is a really hard one. I mean, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say he is a legend strictly for his trash talk. His trash talk is 100% the best.
I could say that I completely agree. His trash talk is great. As a football player, not a legend, but as a football player, subpar.
Not subpar. Like he's still a top player.
Top player that never did anything with a decent team.
He's like a lower.
When they had LaDainian Tomlinson.
He's like they went deep, but they never won, and that's always what matters.
I guess. I mean, you're right. Winning,
but his trash talk.
Lower than Roethlisberger.
Like 50,000 kids.
Yeah,
he's a legend.
He's a legend for having 9 kids. But yeah, I'd say he's not a legend. There's a different level of legend. And
we can say trash talking legend.
Trash talking and baby making legend.
Yes.
99 touch.
You completely just broke up, so we didn't hear you.
Oh, I said 99-yard touchdown or 90-yard touchdown.
I know nothing about that.
90-yard touchdown, let's go.
Did he do that?
It was a trash tape. It was a trash fucking thing.
Oh, I've never seen it. All right,
the lineman came up to. Okay, yeah.
Oh, you're delayed. You had a take. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, the lineman came up to him after like hitting him, and he got a touchdown, and he was just screaming in his ear, 90-yard touchdown. 90 yard, and the refs like breaking him up, and he's like, I'm just telling them like what happened.
Phillip's that's a crazy guy. All right, next, moving into a different genre. Ethan, legend or not legend? Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. I'm gonna be honest. The only movies that I have watched of Johnny Depp are the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I've probably seen more, but I wouldn't know that Johnny Depp is in them. So as far as being in the Pirates of the Caribbean, honestly, that alone, yes, legend. Mm-hmm. So I would give him that. And I haven't even seen his other movies. So I understand that is trash of me, but yes. That's my take.
My take on this is similar, I have seen a lot of his other movies. I think he's a legend just for being Jack Sparrow.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Jack Sparrow is a legendary character.
Everyone knows who Jack Sparrow
I will always know and is my childhood.
Yeah.
And Johnny Depp played that role to perfection.
He did.
Now he also played in a lot of other movies.
Like,
Why I don't know why the one coming to my head is the Lone Ranger, when that wasn't like one of his great movies. He was Grindelwald in one of the Harry Potter spinoffs, and
Alice in Wonderland was the Mad Hatter.
he was the Mad Hatter. He was Willy Wonka.
see, I've seen these movies.
See, like-
but as far as his acting career goes, Pirates of the Caribbean is his legendary status. Willy Wonka is not his legendary status. Like, that's what I'm trying to get
Yeah,
across. And and the Lone Ranger, I've seen that too. He was good, but his legendary status is being Jack Sparrow.
I think Jack Sparrow makes him a legend. What do you
Yes.
think, Jarrett?
I mean, I don't even know why it took you guys so long. Yes, he's a legend, 100%.
All right.
He's also Edward Scissorhands. We forget about that.
Oh, Edward Scissorhands. You're right.
Definitely didn't waste my time to watch that one.
I've seen that one, and I feel like I know a guy that has a strong take on Edward Scissorhands that we're gonna have on the podcast later. All right, moving on. Next person we got, legend or not legend. Ethan or Jarrett, you start us out with this one because Ethan got the last one. Legend or not legend, Ronda Rousey.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. See, man, I'm gonna say legend because when you said the name, I knew immediately who you were talking about. And I mean, just the spurt she had was legendary. I mean, it was like nothing we had ever seen as far as the knockouts and how quick they were, especially in women's MMA. I mean, the only reason I even know Holly Holm's name is because she beat Ronda Rousey. And then other than that, I don't really know much about women's MMA. So for that reason alone, I would say, yes, she's a legend.
That is actually a good point, because coming into this, I was gonna say not legend because she was so dominant and then she just fell off the face of the earth after her loss. But she is the only reason that I really know much about women's MMA is because of Ronda Rousey. She was so dominant. And like, I remember when she was on her peak before she got beat, like I would watch her fights being like, oh, this is great. Ronda Rousey's about to fight. Like, it was hype. And that's really the only woman fighter that I've like been hyped like that for, which is, I mean, I think that makes her a legend. So I'm going to say legend now. I think, Jarrett, your point switched me. Your point did. It switched me. I was going to say not legend, but I think, yeah, she's a legend.
I would say my take is she is scary, but I would not call her a legend because once she lost, she has fallen off the face here. She tried to do an acting career. That didn't go well.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. It's not for her. She was a good fighter, and then she lost. And now it's just, there's plenty of people who were good fighters. They lost and they fell off. And that's just the way it works. The way you become legendary is that you've done it forever. And you can win or lose. That is like Conor McGregor, win or lose. He's a legend because he does crazy things. Like, he'll go to boxing and then back to MMA. And that's why he's a legend. I would just say that Ronda Rousey is scary and I would never fight her. But I would stay away from her. Her shoulders would probably.
I don't think any of us you with
But
that.
I
I
would-
don't think any of us would fight her.
Yeah, no, we're not fighting her. She'd murder us.
Exactly. That's my point, is that she's scary. But I would say legendary status is more of a Conor McGregor, not as far as MMA, because you can only have so many legends in your, like, what you do.
Yeah. And like I said, I was on your side coming into this. I thought that was what I thought, but Jarrett did change my mind. Ronda Rousey is the reason I know more about
fair
women's.
Fair enough.
All right, moving on. Last one,
Yeah.
I think. Actually, no, we got two more. All right, legend or not legend, Serena Williams. Let's be quick about this one. Ethan, go.
Legend, Jarrett. Say that again.
Legend,
Glad to
easy
hear it.
legend.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, 23 majors. I mean, easy legend, but I really just, that one was an easy one. I put that one on there really just to segue into the next one, which is a tougher one. Venus Williams, legend or not legend? Go, Jarrett.
Oh, you're putting this on me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say legend because I follow tennis like a little bit on Instagram, and they were showing a thing the other day with as far as Grand Slams go. And I think Venus, I could be wrong. I don't know really my research. Uh, but Venus is up there for Grand Slams. Like I think she's either top 5 or maybe even top 3 in Grand Slam wins.
I know she has 10
Yeah.
majors.
Well, Grand Slams is like the majors. So like that's what I'm saying. Like her major wins, like meaning Wimbledon, Australian Open, US Open, and French Open, like she's up there. So yes, I would say she's a legend. Now, as much of a legend as Serena Williams, no, but I still think she's a legend.
Interesting. What about you, Ethan?
I would say she's a legend because she is the sister of Serena Williams.
That
And
doesn't make
so
you a legend.
Her name is legendary is that everyone knows your name for something. Everyone knows that she's a great tennis player, but everyone also knows her as Serena Williams' sister. And I'm not wrong in saying that. Like, y'all can give me a trash take for that, but she is a legend for being Serena Williams' sister as well.
I
agree.
She's
It
a
helps.
legend.
It's not the only reason.
Yeah, it's not the only reason. She has 10 major wins, and that's legendary status. It's like she's just in the shadow of Serena, so it's almost like when you think of a legend, you're like, oh, Serena Williams.
Yeah.
But you're also, Venus is up there with her. I'd say, she's a top women's tennis player of all time too, probably. And so she's a legend to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's all we got. So thanks for listening, and that's the end of the first podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider subscribing, and if you're listening to it on any other medium, I hope that you come back. I hope you like this segment, and that's trash takes for you. Had a couple trash takes today. I'd say Jarrett was the trashest of us three today.
Nike's trash.
That's the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Have a good one.
We're out.